Vandeham Sri Guru.
The following is a conversation with His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded on the 3rd of August, 1976, in Paris, France.
The Sankirtan boys met them when they were distributing in Corsica.
Mr. Marshall and his wife.
Hari Bhagwan là.
Je vous présente cette fleur en hommage et en reconnaissance.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh. Please.
Mr. Marchand is a commander in the French Navy.
Oh.
And now he and his family are all chanting on beads and following regular principles.
He retired.
Still has a few years to go.
Arjuna was a commander.
Have they seen our French Bhagavatam? Our new French Bhagavatam?
So you can speak that Arjuna was military commander. So before understanding Bhagavad Gita, he was commander, and after understanding, he remained the commander, but he became Krishna conscious.
He says this brings to mind a question to him that now that he has received Krishna consciousness, he would like to know from you how he should behave in his normal life, because he'll be living very far from the temple. He's 2,000 kilometers away from us, and he wants to know how should his life be conducted now that he has become Krishna conscious.
That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter. The whole Bhagavad Gita he has to study and understand, especially in the 9th chapter. Beginning from 7th to all the chapters, especially 7th to 12th chapter, he can open that Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter.
Okay.
French.
This is French, yes.
Yes. Read it.
Shri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Shaktamana Bhakta Yogam Yumchan Madashraya Ashamsayam Samagramam Yata Gyasya Tashrinu
Gyasasi.
Yasyasi Tashrinu.
If he has got any difficulty to understand, ask him. If there is any difficulty, he can inquire.
He says he admires you very much for the work you have done in spreading this message all around, and especially the fact that you have made it so clear that anyone can understand.
So let him come, join and help.
He says as much as he can, he will.
Yeah. Why as much? Why not fully? These are our garden flowers.
Oh, very nice.
This is also?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anything grown in the garden that is 100 times valuable than it is purchased from the market.
Okay.
Bhagavad Gita is a book which can guide the whole human society. Now, in all different branches of knowledge, namely in politics, in sociology, in religion, in culture, in philosophy, in economics, everything, all lines are described very vividly, and the human society can take advantage of. The Bhagavad Gita begins in the battlefield with politics. And when Arjuna declined to fight, how Krishna chastised him, that is described, kutasya kasmalamidam visame samupasthita. So, what is the difficulty in understanding? Ask him. This is military. Krishna is asking that you are in the battlefield. Where from you got this cowardice mentality? This is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita teaches how to become brave hero in the battlefield. That is the instruction. Kutasya kasamalamidam visameta.
He finds it very admirable that from a small verse you are able to always find something new and wonderful to say about it. And he says you go from verse to verse, and the complexity of what you explain is always new and wonderful to read. So he's very admiring of the book.
Thank you.
How you can go from 2 lines to 3 pages.
I can go more. But I have made shortcut. Krishna is unlimited, so he can be described unlimitedly. But we have no unlimited patience.
He is explaining that there is so many things to understand about Krishna, but we do not have the capacity to understand always. But he feels that at one point, that when the soul was pure, these things would have been understood automatically, but that because we are very far, these commentaries are needed to bring us closer to Krishna.
This is the first study of Krishna, ABCD. When we learn Bhagavad Gita, then we can have some glimpse of idea of Krishna. Then we go further in Srimad Bhagavatam.
He also admires very much that you have created disciples who are able to be very courageous in presenting your message, and that even though sometimes at first he was opposed to them, they were very peaceful always and always very nice to him, and this way they brought him slowly to Krishna consciousness.
That is preaching method. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended Tinadapi Sunechena. Can explain that. Tinadapi Sunechena, Tarorapi Sunechena, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniyas. This is the method by the preacher.
The devotee should always feel lower than the strong stream.
She wants to know if it is recommended that a woman become a sannyasi.
Woman should stay under the father, under the husband, and under the elderly sons. nothing more. Therefore, it is the duty of the father to give her in charge of a young man when she is young. This is Vedic culture.
She's asking, what should a woman do if she is alone?
She cannot be alone. Na satantrata manati. Woman should not be alone, just like children. Children cannot be alone. They must be taken care of. Similarly, the woman in childhood should be taken care of by the father. When she is young, she should be taken care of by the husband. And when she is old, she should be taken care of by elderly sons. We will find in the Vedic literature the father's responsibility is until she is handed over to a suitable young man. And the husband's responsibility is so long she hasn't got elderly children. At that time, when she has got elderly children, she can leave home and take sannyas. So the process is the woman is kept under protection always. There is no independence for a woman. That is, still in India it is going on. The father is obliged to find out a suitable husband for the daughter and give her in his charge. Then his responsibility finished. Until that, he is responsible to take care of the daughter. Unmarried girl remain always under the protection of the father.
Today there seem to be so few qualified husbands.
Because you do not train the boys to be qualified. You train them to become divorced. What can be done? You train them from brahmachari. Then they will be responsible husband. Both the girls and the boys should be trained up. Then they will be responsible husband and wife and live peacefully. In their young days, if you give them freedom, then spoil. Young, it's full day.
Freedom.
If you give them full freedom, then misguided and spoiled.
She's asking that since in these Western countries the families are so broken up and the women sometimes cannot find a qualified husband, what should she do?
Here in the society, you train them. You have got all children, you train them in that way. So that whatever is done. Now you can make very good society. Krishna conscious society. Not that one mistake has been done, you should continue. Rectify it. The difficulty is the modern society, the leaders, they do not know the aim of life. They are blindly doing everything like animals. Their philosophy is like the animals. Eat, drink, be merry and enjoy. That's all. This is the philosophy of the animals. And human philosophy is to understand, first of all, what I am. I am this body or something else. That is human life. But nobody questions this. There is no institution to teach this science. Therefore the whole human society is misguided. Just like if I want to train my boy to become a medical man, Then I teach him biology, botany, similarly. So because I know I can make my boy a medical man. Similarly, we should know what is the aim of human life. Then we have to construct the social, political, everything favorable to that end. But they do not know what is the aim of life. That is the whole mistake. I think in the Bible there is a story, prodigal son. So we are prodigal son. We are all sons of God. Now we have become prodigal sons. What is the meaning of prodigal? And without any responsibility, is it not? Do whatever you like.
Run away from the protection of the family.
Yes, that is our position. That we are sons of God. We have given up protection of God. God is protecting in all circumstances.
It says prodigal, recklessly wasteful.
Wasteful. This is it. We are all recklessly wasteful sons of God. We are sons of God, there is no doubt. But at the present moment, recklessly wasteful. We are wasting our valuable life. We are so reckless. So, the Krishna consciousness movement is to check their recklessness and bring them into senses of responsibility, going back home, back to God. This is Krishna consciousness. But people are so reckless, as soon as you say something of God, immediately they laugh. What is nonsense, God? This is the supreme recklessness. India was very serious about God. Still India is serious. Now, present leaders, they are thinking that Indians are spoiled, simply thinking of God. They are not thinking like the Americans and Europeans for economic development. So this is the position, and it is very difficult, but still we can do some service to the humanity by preaching this Krishna consciousness movement. And those who are fortunate, they come take up seriously. These reckless prodigal sons, we have got so many examples. For example, just like there is some stock of petroleum and they got information that from petroleum we can run on cars without horse. So, manufacture millions of cars and spoil the whole oil. This is reckless. And when it is finished, and then they cry. And it will be finished. This is going on. Recklessness. There is a reckless boy. Father has left some property. He use it. As soon as the sooner it is finished, that is reckless. There is some strength in the body, and as soon as he gets a little taste of sex life, spend it. Whole energy spent. Then brain becomes better. Beginning from 12th year, by the 30th year, everything is finished. Then he is important. In our childhood means, say, 80 years ago, or say 100 years ago, there was no motor car. And now, wherever you go in any country, you see thousands and millions of motor cars. This is recklessness. 100 years ago, they could do without motor car. And now they cannot live without a car. In this way, unnecessarily, they are increasing bodily and material necessities of life. This is recklessness. And the leaders will encourage them to this recklessness is good living. And will say, stop this nonsense, come to Krishna consciousness. Nobody knows. Annajatham rupaniyamana sepi sutantra urudavnivadhya. This is called blind leader leading blind followers. They do not know that both of them are bound up by the strict, stringent laws of nature. How the laws of nature is working, they are completely in ignorance. They do not know. This is modern civilization. The laws of nature must work in its own way. You care for it or do not care for it, that is your business. But the laws of nature is what? Prakriyakriyamānāni vinaykarvāni santi. But these rascals, they do not know how the laws of nature work. They are endeavoring artificially or foolishly to overcome the laws of nature. This is science, rascal science, which is impossible, but they are trying. This is called rascal love. Stupidity. Do the scientists not say like that? We are trying to work. Rascal will never be able to. But this rascal now is going. And we are applauding. Oh, very good, very good. Very good. Oh, you are going to the moon planet. But after all endeavor, the grapes are sour. It is not useful. That's all. You know the story, the jackal? He tried for the grapes, jumping. When it was failure, he said, oh, it is useless. It is sour. It is sour, no use. And they are doing that. The jackal jumping, that's all. And we can see how these rascals are jumping useless. So we are warning people not to follow these silly jackals. Be prudent and be Krishna conscious. That will make your life successful.
Srila Prabhupada, this is Ulay. He is from the Ivory Coast in Africa. And he is very sincere, and he is also attempting to start Krishna consciousness in Africa, in the Ivory Coast. He had a question for you.
First of all, you remain here for some time. Be trained up. Because every one of us, we have followed the silly jackals. Now you have to follow Krishna. Janma sarthak kori karo paropoka. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's advice. First of all, let your personal life be successful. Then try to do good to others. All over the world, they have simply followed the silly jackals. Now we have to follow Krishna. When you are trained up to follow Krishna, then our life is successful. Then we can do something. Samadharman parityajya mame kam. We have to follow Krishna alone. Not all these rascal silly jackals. Then our life is successful. Krishna can give you all guidance in all respective necessities of life. Then everything complete. We haven't got to follow the silly jackals. So, here is a nice place, you stay here and forget these silly jackals and take to Krishna alone or his devotees, then you can start very nicely in the center anyway. That is the duty of everyone. We should open hundreds and thousands of centers all over the world. But one who is going to open, he must be, first of all, trained.
He's wondering, he is convinced about Krishna consciousness himself, but he is wondering why in a country or a continent like Africa, which is not so scientifically or technologically developed,
there is no need.
There's no need. So he is wondering why we have only 2 temples in Africa. Is it because...
Because language difficulty.
Language.
Otherwise there is no difficulty.
So quite
still, without language, without talking, if we simply chant Hare Krishna, everyone will follow. And give them prasadam, they will take.
Right.
And that will be good preaching. It doesn't require language or anything. You chant Hare Krishna, let them chant Hare Krishna and give them nice prasadam, they will take. That will be good preaching. But who is chanting, he must be a sincere devotee. Then his chanting will be effective. The gramophone machine will not do. He must be realized, then his chanting will be effective. Katang prasangat moavida sangita bhavanti vipunna rasayana. He must behave just like the pure Vaishnava. Then if he chants, his chanting will be effective. It's like electricity. If I am charging electricity, I touch, he also becomes electricity. And if he touches, he will become. But if one is not in touch with the electricity, it will not happen. So one must be electrified. Then if he touches somebody, he will be electrified. If there is no electricity, simply by touching, he will not be.
He says that on the Ivory Coast, this country, until he becomes electrified, he knows that the president of the country is very favorable to our movement. He has the Bhagavad Gita, and then he thinks that we should open a temple there.
Immediately do it. Immediately do it. But I am simply explaining the process. But do it immediately. Krishna will give you power. If you are sincere, you will be rectified. There is no doubt. So,